Welcome back, Sleepyheads, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sleepy Aliens Perspective. So, today's video is going to be about a few things I've learned from having only 38 subscribers after 8 months of being on YouTube. So, if you're expecting this video to be funny or pathetic, click off now because I'm actually very proud about what I've accomplished on YouTube thus far. And I think the journey of only having 38 subscribers, and I mean, it's been that way for like 5 months. And at first, I really thought like maybe this isn't for me, but I've had fun and I've learned a few things. But I think the initiation phase for any craft, any job, or just whatever it may be, you kind of have to get over that hump of when things look like they're not actually going to work out for you. And when you get over that hump of things looking like a complete disaster or like a complete waste of time, you actually learn more about yourself and you become more resourceful and your skills evolve more because you're actually challenged to continue to think out of the box and to be innovative or just to be far out of your comfort zone in some way. So the curse of 38 subscribers has actually been a huge blessing. And the first thing that I just want to go over is just confidence in general. So prior to YouTube, I'd never done any video stuff. Even when I was a film minor in college, I was always behind the camera. I never thought about like being the person on the camera. I was very hesitant too because I was like, what if people don't like the version of the black woman that I am or just the person that I am? What if I get a bunch of hatred for expressing my opinion? I had all of these crazy, they're not crazy, they're actually rational if you consider the social environment of the internet, but I had all of those thoughts running through my head and actually slowing me down from progressing with my endeavor. And eventually I had to come to that space where I was like, okay, so regardless of whatever that 38 subscribers is telling me, and even the fact that none of my videos have broken over 1,000 views, it's still empowering and it puts you in a different place spiritually when you can continue to believe in an outcome even though you're not seeing those results yet. And like I was saying, that initiation phase spiritually, not even like three-dimensionally where yeah, you get over the hump and then you start to see results, but spiritually when you continue to have confidence and you believe in that outcome that you're working towards, it slowly will continue to appear over time. And for some people, it does happen a lot faster, and I can't explain that. But what I know is that those first 8 months of being on YouTube was a lot of me getting used to a lot of things, whether it was just, being on camera, expressing myself, doing research, marketing, being on Instagram, TikTok, just putting myself out there in that way because I never had an Instagram or a TikTok account prior to any of this because I just wasn't really into it. And I liked YouTube, but just as a general viewer, and I never thought that I would be a person making videos myself. But this whole process has definitely made me more confident in who I am and just helped me understand that being yourself is the best thing that you can do for another person, because when you put out that energy, it not only evolves, but it inspires other people and it's contagious as well. So I don't know, confidence has been a huge blessing in only having 38 subscribers. And trust me, I had days where I was feeling completely like a failure. I don't want to use the word loser, but I feel like it sums up a lot. But I was just feeling like shit about what I was doing and about where I was with my life. And I kept thinking like, luck. I only have 38 subscribers. Everyone just thinks that I probably already failed at this. Maybe I should give up. And that's exactly what, you know, the dark forces in the universe expect from you in that circumstance. So, you know, the opportunity to evolve your confidence through perseverance is a huge blessing in that 38 subscribers. So the next one is patience. I remember when I would like post a video, and for me, I was like, this is a great story. This is, you know, good research. People are really gonna, you know, watch this. I think this video could go viral to some degree overnight. And I remember I would not let myself check like the amount of views that a video was getting until like the next day, or even when I start to get really stressed out about it, it would be like 2 days later until I would even look at the video. And being on YouTube and trying to avoid your own channel is very difficult, but realizing that, you know, the lesson of consistency and the lesson of patience has been a huge blessing in having those 38 subscribers, because I really thought that, yes, things can happen overnight, but I didn't really look at the fact that I had all of these baby steps that I had to take, and I had all of these small learning lessons before I got to, you know, that goal of hitting 1,000 views or even having 1,000 subscribers. It was all a progression, because, you know, in the beginning I really didn't have like my video style down. I didn't know how I wanted to edit things. I didn't have my graphics all the way down, you know, and I was very doubtful and second guessing myself a lot in the beginning. And if you think about that initiation phase that you have as an artist and nothing is happening, you know, it's for a reason. It actually gave me time to develop myself and to get comfortable being on camera, expressing my opinion, and just being myself as well. So patience is a huge one. The next is follow through. So I don't know if you're like me in any sense where you've started a project and maybe you're 5 or 6 months in, you don't see any results, and it's not like you give up on your artistry or your endeavor completely, but you start something else because it looks like that project isn't going to turn out the way you want it to. So I've done that numerous times in my life, and I've always equated that to not having enough resources or time, energy, or jobs getting in the way, but really it was my inability to follow through, and it was my lack of confidence and belief in the outcome that I was working towards. And that was a huge lesson that I had to learn, and the patience of consistency. You know, it's about those building blocks, and we have to remember that before everything happens externally, it has to happen internally as well. And internally, I had to be that person who believed. I had to have that vision of what I was working towards. I also had to have a positive intention and understanding of why I was doing what I was doing, and how is this not only going to help me, but how can it help other people as well. Yeah, so it's hard to admit that I've like given up on a lot of things before, but I've also have never had like, you know, a coach or a mentor, you know, so I've really had to be that person for myself. And that journey of you being your own coach and your mentor, I think that's a beautiful journey to go on, because that teaches you those independent skills that at the end of the day, when your back's to the wall, you know that you can always count on yourself and trust yourself, and you can get yourself out of a situation or get yourself to whatever results that you're working towards. So the next one is being yourself. Oh no, the next one. That'll be my last one. And yeah, I wanted to film this outside, so yeah, I am outside because it's kind of nice today. But discipline. So I have never been this far out of my comfort zone with making content, letting it live out there in the internet for everyone to see and have an opinion about, and just expressing my opinion and just, yeah, me being out there. But the discipline in general of being a content creator, you know, even though people get to make their own schedules and it's flexible, it is a hustle. There's the basic phase of which you're, I don't know, researching, deciding what kind of content you want to make. You record that content, you edit that content, you market that content. There's so much work in the midst of that. So in those 8 months that I have put into YouTube thus far, I have to say that it's really taught me a lot about, you know, what it will take to not only be a content creator, but, you know, different aspects of running a business, or, you know, really having to create the structure for yourself and to set a schedule for yourself and to give yourself the time to work and the time to recover. And that's something that I haven't always been good at, because a lot of in the past with my creative projects, I would just go really hard and I would burn out really fast. But this first 8 months on YouTube has really helped me learn how to pace myself a bit better, how to be patient with my body and giving it that rest time, and not to force my creativity, and also not to create when I don't feel like it, because I've done that before and the results were not good, and I had to scrap a lot of those videos that I thought, you know, well, I need to get this out there because I feel pressure to continue to be making content. You know, let go of that notion and just enjoy what you're doing. But in general, I've achieved a great deal of discipline despite the fact that I only have 38 subscribers. And that's even like, well, let's be real. If you're making content, it's hard to keep a great sleep schedule if you also have a regular job, because you're, you know, I would get off of work and then I would immediately start, you know, working on notes or doing research for a video, or I would just go right into recording or editing a video. So it's really about continuing to take that initiative. And the beauty of only having 38 subscribers and having discipline will make it way more easier for when, you know, my channel does grow to where I do have more subscribers and followers. You know, it won't be that difficult for me to stay focused and stay in the hustle and the grind, because I have this experience of, you know, what it's like to be on the other end of, you know, the spectrum, and having very few subscribers, and all the work that I still had to put in to have the subscribers that I have and the views that I have now. So that's been a huge lesson. That car zoomed by. My next thing is the power of my voice. So I have no problem like speaking up or standing up for myself, but when it came to just generalizing my opinion to the world on different issues and matters, that was terrifying. And for a minute, I remember after I would put out a few videos of my opinion about some things, I would almost just be like, oh my God, are people gonna think I'm crazy? Especially if you're spiritual, or if you're an open psychic, or into metaphysical things, or even if you believe in aliens and all that stuff. You know, it's kind of scary to express that, because social media has gotten to a point where it's impacting people's jobs and livelihoods, and it shouldn't, but it is, you know. So even just speaking your opinion can have consequences that you don't even foresee down the road. But I have to say, overall, for someone who, when I was in elementary school, people thought I was a mute and they thought something was wrong with me, to being a person who was such a peacekeeper, I would hold back on how I felt in different social situations, even in relationships, but not only friends and family, but people I've dated. I held back on like expressing myself, you know, doing YouTube and having those 38 subscribers, and I am 52 videos in. This will be video number 53. It has only taught me the power of my voice, and it's been absolutely liberating to get to express myself, and it validates so much of how I feel and what I think, and it just solidifies your sense of self and your character. So that's been a huge, wonderful, beautiful blessing that had I not had 38 subscribers, I probably would not have reflected on as much as I have had. My next one is being myself and seeing myself. So the beauty of having, to make these videos and editing myself, you get to see yourself, you get to be like, okay, well, that's actually me. And even though I was so afraid to record and I was overthinking what I was going to say or what I was going to wear or just any element that would make you feel like you were afraid to put yourself out there, and overcoming that is a huge, huge accomplishment spiritually and three-dimensionally. And then just to your general sense of self, it's a huge step forward. But really, being able to see myself has helped me become less afraid of social rejection. And this is coming from somebody who has faced a lot of rejection with family, friends, dating, to the point where it's made it so much easier for me to be alone, celibate, single, because it's, I don't know, you get to protect yourself from rejection, really. But doing these videos and being out of my comfort zone, it's made me realize that I am the only person that can actually truly reject myself, and to let that complex go, it's very liberating, and it's freeing, and it helps me know that, not only is it okay to be myself, but, I can see myself now, and I don't know, again, I would have not have had this reflection and realization had I not had 38 subscribers. Let me see what my last one is. Oh my gosh, so the blessing of challenging yourself and taking action. I was so focused on growing my subscribers, getting to a place where I can be monetized and having followers and having a reason to say to others that, yes, I am successful at this. My channel is successful. This is going well. Here's all the three-dimensional ways that you can see it. But while I was so focused on all of those rewards, I was not really acknowledging the internal rewards that I was receiving from taking action and making effort, being out of my comfort zone, challenging myself, and continuing to evolve my skills. And I was being blessed every time I would engage in, my projects and my videos and my research. I was evolving every single step of the way. And I think that's what people really have to understand, is that the best results you'll ever receive are not material or social, you know, it's all internal. And the focus that I had on everything being external, it was my fear of being, you know, an adult and not having anything to show for my education and everything that I've worked so hard to achieve for myself. And it was just those three-dimensional fears, really. But I have so much to show for it, and even me just being able to talk about the fact that I only have 38 subscribers, and not even just to like make light of it, but to transmute that energy and turn it into something beautiful, because I think this year will be different, and I think consistency does pay off. I think YouTube has made it a bit more difficult for people to grow their channel within the algorithm and all the censorship, and you know, suddenly that platform where everybody could freely express themselves and be themselves has turned into another fragment of society where you have to be more mindful about how you express yourself and the different ways that, you know, your opinions and all that stuff, you have to be afraid of it now, and instead of just being out in the open and confident about it. So yeah, so I don't think I'll have 38 subscribers for much longer. Who knows? But I don't think it'll last for much longer. I think it was divinely planned by none other than Yewa himself, and I said himself, but we'll just say itself, you know? Who knows? I don't know. The universe itself, you know, I think I've been on this particular schedule to get me acclimated, comfortable, confident, and for me to be aware and for me to have clear intentions of why I'm doing this. Because my intentions in the beginning was, oh, I want to be free of my 9 to 5, I want financial freedom, I want creative freedom. And now my intention is just to see, like, I just want to be myself, and I want to be comfortable introducing myself to the world and my opinions and the way I like to express myself creatively without any fear. And I want to just continue to do that and evolve that feeling. And I want other people to be inspired by that and do the same for themselves, because you know, having this channel and doing this kind of work has been so liberating. And for the first time in my life, I truly do feel like an artist. And you know, however that evolves will be however it evolves, but at the end of the day, I'm proud of myself, and I can't wait to see what this year holds for my channel. I have a ton of videos to work on, and now I'll be getting back into that groove. Now that I'm getting over the start again, get into it, be positive about it, hump. So, gosh, there's so many pretty birds out here. I can't tell you where I am, but I'm not in Oregon, I'll just say that. But, yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, tune in, because I have some really great deep dives coming up and some other research episodes that I think everybody will enjoy. The new year really doesn't start until spring. That is the new year that I am coming to really acknowledge, because every winter I go through a deep like phase of like, you know, thinking about the person I was the year before and everything I did, and then thinking, okay, this is who I want to be, and just realigning myself essentially with my ultimate vision and making sure I'm still on that track. And the winter gives me time to plan and create, and by spring I get to see a lot of my hard work blossom, whether it be with my health or my spirit or my finances or my creativity, whatever it may be. You know, I believe the magical things happen in the springtime, but the winter is for reflection and just a lot of deep thinking. But thank you for tuning in. I don't want to make this video too long. I'll see you guys very soon. Have a great day. All right. Bye, sleepyheads.